So Genestealer Cult's got one of the strongest detachments in the Grotmus update. They got a detachment called Final Day, in which you can ally in certain Tyranid units into your GSC. And when you do this, you get some amazing lone ops, you get some really good buffs by having Tyranid units nearby, enemy units. And in addition to that, you still get max resurgence points for a 2,000 point army. So not only do you have great GSC stuff and great Tyranid stuff, you also still get the revive as well.
Yes.
And that makes this detachment extremely difficult to deal with for a lot of armies.
Final Day is probably a little too strong in my opinion. I think when it's cooking, it is up there with the strongest armies in the game, if not the strongest. Because when it's pulling good secondary cards, like the way it loses is by being outscored. And that's not really up to your opponent a decent amount of the time. It's up to, well, what cards did both players draw? And, you know, what cards did both players draw? What mission is it? That's the best way to beat Final Day, not like having a good matchup into them.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to run gargoyles onto your objectives every single turn, and then you don't get to score points.
Out of the resurgence points, I do think that the 10-man Metamorph unit stands out as the one that is just very undercosted. It's only 4 resurgence points, which to me feels like quite a miss. It feels like somebody has never played against Metamorphs before.
I mean, at the very least, right? 5 Flamer Acolytes. Sorry, I used the shorthand.
It's also only 2.
It's 2, but 5 Metamorphs is also 2. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so I think a little rejigging can happen in there. And personally, what I would like to see is instead of the resurgence points number being based on how many points you're playing, it instead should be based on which detachment you're playing so that you could change the number of resurgence points different detachments get. This way you can buff some of the weaker GSC detachments, but you could also put a little bit more restrictions on, say, a Final Day or a Biosancting or whatever you think the strongest ones are.
I think that would be interesting. I definitely think that they should do that for something like Brood Brothers or Final Day, where you get 2 codexes to pull from. Just reduce it. Even down to 8 would make actually a pretty huge difference. You just get like 1.
Yeah, we're not saying just take it away or anything like that.
Yeah. 10 Aberrants coming back is a lot, but that is your whole. It is a bit weird to have your army rule be you get to play with 2,400 points. Like,
yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it.
That seems good. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. Probably a bit of a ding to that. They just get so many units back. Right? I
think it's still a little too high.
Yeah. You have 5 Flamer Acolyte squads back, 5 Hybrid Metamorph squads back.
You're trading to kill your opponent's units and score points, and then in your late game, all of a sudden you just have 3 or 4 extra units that your opponent just can't deal with, and so they're scoring all sorts of points and doing things that your opponent can't stop.
Yeah.
It's very, very strong.